Country Regional Economic Development Council, and it's a pleasure to be here in Ticonderoga today. We have with us a very special guest today that will be speaking. He's, as we know, he's with the Department of State, the Secretary actually, and the Department of State is a very important department of our state. It's the oldest agency in New York State. A lot of the programs that we've engaged in throughout our region, the waterfront development programs, a lot of licensing of professionals, and a lot of other types of things we don't really think of the Department of State as, they're engaged in, and they've been very supportive of all of our communities in the North Country region. So it's my pleasure today to introduce Secretary of State Robert Rodriguez.
Hello, everyone. It's so great to be back here in the North Country, and I want to make a few acknowledgments. I want to acknowledge Chairman Sean Gilliland of the Essex County Board of Supervisors, who's here. Sean, where are you? There you go. And I think you have some of your other supervisors here, so we want to recognize them. If you could stand in the back, because this doesn't happen by itself. A community has to come together for an award like this. Excellent. And we do consider our electeds part of the team. So while they're in Albany legislating, we want to recognize that we have representatives from Senator Steck's office, as well as Assemblymember Simpson's office. So I was in Lake Placid yesterday for the closing ceremonies of the World University Games. And what an experience that was. Hundreds of athletes, 11 days, thousands of spectators. They told me they sold 58,000 tickets. And we know that it was a great opportunity to be a global spotlight for everything that the North Country has to offer. And yesterday we talked about the tremendous investments in Placid and the Olympic area, and really making sure that we have world-class facilities, not just for the World University Games, but for whatever games that we can have in the future. So the last time I was here, I was at Tupper Lake, making an announcement of some good news. They came together with their projects, and I'm happy to say that today is no different. I like coming and bringing the good news. But before that visit, again, I'm spending a lot more time in the North Country than I knew about, and I did promise the mayor from Tupper Lake that the next time I came, I would bring my family, which clearly I have. Matthias is here, my wife Jocelyn and Sabine are here as well. Because North Country really is fun for the whole family. But when we came last time, even before Tupper Lake, we were promoting our Adirondacks in Old Forge, our Hamlets to Huts initiative, and some of the work that we've done in terms of the trail networks, making sure that we connect tourism, ecotourism, with resiliency and access to waterfronts. So that's part of what we do at the Department of State. We do local waterfront revitalization. We've invested in a number of communities with our resilient economic development initiatives. But really it's about investing in our communities so that they can have a positive impact in the region and in neighborhoods and communities. And one of the areas that we recognize is that some communities have been overlooked and underinvested in over time. And that's why the governor made it clear that it was her mission to make sure that there were no communities left behind. We hear sometimes about the big investments in the bigger cities, but in 2016, we came up with an idea to make sure that we invested in smaller cities. And then we came up with the idea to make sure we got to invest in smaller villages and towns. So right now, today, we're here to make that announcement about two major economic development programs that we have at the Department of State. So the first announcement, which we're very proud of, is right here in Ticonderoga. The community will receive $10 million. $10 million. Yep. This is your work in your community. $10 million. For the Downtown Revitalization Initiative, Round 6, for the North Country. So we are so delighted to be able to talk about what Ticonderoga's overall plan seeks to do. Make new investments in new tourist sites, building on amenities that draw deep historical roots, public parks, historic facade restoration, expansion of Main Street businesses, affordable housing options, and enhanced streetscape and gateway opportunities to attract businesses, tourists, and residents to go downtown. The goal is to transform Ticonderoga into a hub for the Adirondack and Champlain Valley recreational opportunities and experiences with a pedestrian-friendly corridor surrounded by natural beauty and open public spaces. So congratulations. The fun begins now. And this is why I say the fun begins now, because right now the supervisor is going to have a bunch of meetings to try and prioritize how this $10 million award will come together for Ticonderoga. And just to speak a little bit about that, DRI was created to bring together all parties in the community. Local, state governments, our private stakeholders, to help accelerate the revitalization in a downtown so that you're not just doing it by yourself as a local government. We're bringing sister agencies to the table. We'll bring the consultant power to develop this plan, then act strategy. So by being a DRI community, what happens next is a bunch of meetings over the next 6 months where the community comes up with the strategic investment plan. You help prioritize what are the investments you need to see in your downtown to make it friendly. We give you the framework and the resources to do that, both during the process and at the end. This is about community-based decision-making. We want you to tell the story of Ticonderoga. We want you to tell us about your history and your heritage, what your hopes and aspirations are. It's the communities that choose these projects and all the different sectors of economic development, such as streetscapes, housing arts, entertainment, parks, public spaces. All of those pieces come together to make the balanced tapestry of what we believe downtown revitalization looks like. So we don't just ask you for a list of projects in isolation. They need to support each other to make that all come together. So it's really more than a $10 million grant. It's an opportunity to galvanize the community around a vision that will extend beyond the DRI into the future. So with that, we just want to remind people it's a public-private partnership. We're in for $10 million, and the rest of the private community will recognize that this community matters. The state knows it matters, and we're going to be the first ones to help you invest in the vision that you have. So with that, congratulations, Ticonderoga. But as I mentioned, the governor recognized that DRI, Downtown Revitalization Initiative, and the $10 million awards are fantastic for communities, but we recognized there were some smaller communities that didn't need $10 million, that may need a smaller amount to have the same kind of transformative impact that a DRI has for a bigger location. So, as a result, we moved ahead with what we call the New York Forward program. Governor Hochul heard all of those feedback from communities during the first 5 rounds of DRI and recognized that smaller rural communities were just as necessary for Renaissance to have happen, and the same need for resources just on the right scale, for the right size, and for the right character of their community. So we did that. So this is the first time we're going to make our second announcement regarding our first recipients for New York Forward in the North Country. So The first award goes to the Village of Cape Vincent in Jefferson County for $4.5 million. The second award goes to the Village of Lyons Falls in Lewis County for $2.25 million. And the third award for all my fishermen is the Village of Waddington in St. Lawrence County for $2.25 million. And just to share a little bit about their visions for their communities, Cape Vincent's vision for the future is to create safe streets and enhance its gateways into the community, developing mixed-use and multi-story buildings and improving its connections to the waterfront. Lyons Falls is looking to build upon its already existing efforts to increase recreational tourism opportunities, focused on the Moose and Black Rivers, and work on revitalizing a mill that they had in their downtown. And finally, Waddington's goals will be to enhance streetscapes and wayfinding, redeveloping historical mixed-use buildings, and connecting the downtown to their waterfront. So collectively, the future looks bright here in the North Country. I think we're going to continue to build on the previous 5 rounds of DRI, which include Tupper Lake, Saranac Lake, Potsdam, Messina, Plattsburgh. So we know that now we brought Ticonderoga into the fold. We're going to make sure that it all comes together so people recognize the beauty of the North Country. And we're going to continue to do small villages and hamlets too. So it's very exciting. Congratulations to the North Country. Thank you for having and hosting me again for another wonderful trip. And I look forward to talking to all of these communities in about 6 months, where we unveil the projects that the communities have decided are the priorities for the investments. Thank you all. Thank you for being here. Congratulations. We are so grateful to be able to help you on your journey. Thank you. And with that, I want to, of course, introduce the Ticonderoga Town Supervisor, Mark Wright, to let us know how he's going to work on this. Thank you.
Well, that's kind of a tough act to follow. But on behalf of Ticonderoga, Mr. Secretary, I greatly appreciate the state of New York giving us this opportunity to really make a change in this town. It has been decades of economic decline and decay, and we have initiated several efforts using local money and municipal money and a lot of volunteer effort to move forward economically. But this really gives us a shot in the arm to do some really meaningful projects in the downtown area. I do want to take this opportunity to thank all of the organizations and the individuals, and there were many that made up our DRI committee. It was a lot of work. It is not something that you jump into lightly. I'd also like to thank the residents of Ticonderoga. They were involved in this process. We had numerous public events and online forums to get their impact and feedback on what this town wanted economically to move forward with. And so it takes a partnership of both government and the public to make this happen. So you're not all off the hook. Many of you will be working these next 6 months to help pull this together. This not only benefits the downtown corridor, which is basically what you see outside the window here, this short strip of Montcalm Street. This benefits all of Ticonderoga business, all of Ticonderoga residents, as well as the surrounding municipalities. And it will extend its reach into this entire portion of Essex County. So with that, I just, again, would like to say thank you. Many of you are going to get calls. You're going to get tasks. We'll get through this one bite at a time, as I like to say. That's how you eat the elephant. So thank you very much, and I look forward to moving forward and making Ticonderoga a better place to live for our residents, our families, business, future investment, and future settlement of other families. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and thank you, Supervisor, and thank you, Ticonderoga. I'm excited about this. I've been involved in a number of efforts for Ticonderoga over the maybe 10 years or so ago, but I know what's out there. I know the momentum's out there. I know the commitment that's out there. I know the downtown that's out there that can be converted, and I think it's going to be wonderful to happen. I'd like to take a moment and introduce Donna Wadsworth. I know you all know her, but Donna is actually part of the North Country Regional Economic Development Council as well. And as the Secretary and Supervisor said, this is going to be a real process. It's going to be quick. It's going to be professionally done. And one thing that I've been involved in, I guess, 2 or 3 of these DRIs at this point already, and the state will bring in a professional planning organization for us to work with. We'll also see, in all my time, I've never seen such synergy amongst different state agencies working together with one goal. So we not only get professionals, we get the professionals from all the state agencies working together with us as a local planning committee. So this is a really good process, Mr. Secretary. It really is, and it works very effectively. I'd like to just point out a couple other people that will be engaged in this, and that's Kylie Peck with the Department of State back there. Kylie, nice to see you here today. She'll be traveling all the way over from Watertown, or maybe we'll do remotely your involvement, I'm not sure. And also Steve Hunt with Empire State Development will be engaged in this. And of course, making sure we do it the right way will be a representative of the governor's office and Buck Bob in there. So Buck, thank you very much. So I think we're ready to roll here, Mr. Secretary. We're there, the momentum's there, the individuals are there, the excitement's there, and we're going to do this in a very professional, and the results are going to show we're going to get some good private investment based on the public investment. So thank you very much for today's announcement. Thank you. And thank you all for being here. If there is questions, the Secretary might want to take questions. I'm not sure. Is that appropriate?
Oh, no, we want to deliver the money.
Okay.
So for the supervisor.
Yeah, why don't the DRI committee members come up here? They represent a number of organizations in the town, both business development, economic development, revitalization, municipal development. I think that's just right.
Yes. After the strategic investment plan.
Thank you for your hard work, committee.
The application works. Good job.